Well, since we were just talking about keeping men accountable, let's talk about what keeps men weak, and then we'll go back into the women stuff. This is from Far From Weak channel. He needs a better AI voice because it makes his videos sound cringe.
The world is full of traps to make men weak. At the same time, the world will treat you better if you are strong. Here is the reality. None of these traps are set up by accident. They have been set up to control you. Just take a look at the people that get put on a pedestal and the people that get canceled. If you control the minds of men, you control the population.
Yes, you do. Did you see the riots of teenagers in Chicago? Fatherless behavior. Yep. That's why I'm getting out of this shithole, boys. Later. Only in America. Trademark that.
Unfortunately, many guys have fallen for the agenda and have embraced weakness. Pathetic. What kind of man would allow himself to be brainwashed into forsaking his masculinity? No man.
The voice.
Let us discuss 6 disgusting habits that keep men weak. Number 1, friendship. In the modern world, guys are careless when it comes to picking friends. In any other time of history, men knew that choosing bad friends would get you killed. You had to pick your friends very carefully.
This is a very good point, friendship. This ties into something I'm doing that I don't want to reveal just yet, but we are starting, quote, a private community. The men you surround yourself with is the utmost importance. We've lost the art of having strong brotherhoods and communities for men only. I can't emphasize the importance of meeting like-minded men and pooling together your resources, your knowledge, and your expertise from so many different walks of life in order to enrich each and every one of your lives within that community. I'm telling you, I'm going to be I'll unveil more later, but I will be starting something like that where we'll be able to get on calls multiple times a week, where we will plan trips, where we'll have events together. It's going to be very tight-knit, not that many men, but it is something that I will be doing in the future. It is absolutely key.
Based on certain principles and values you shared. Not only do guys no longer pick friends based on principles and values, they pick their friends based on sharing some of the same bad habits we are going to discuss in this video. I want you to think about that for a second. Guys are picking friends based on sharing destructive habits that keep them weak. Forget about a code of honor and iron sharpening iron.
I love that he's using video games. That'll trigger people in the chat. Why not? Thanks for the 100, brother. You're wild. You have my ears at that statement. Thanks again. Well done, sir. I appreciate you for all the support, brother. Thank you.
Iron. Modern guys would rather be weak and comfortable together, and they are surprised when they get betrayed later on by their fake friends. Listen. We all know that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If 5 of your friends are weak cowards, you will be the 6th. If all your friends are snakes, you will turn into a snake too. It's better to be lonely and strong than to be surrounded by weak and fake friends. Friendship is a big topic in itself. More videos on it will be made.
Having your own tribe, I can't express how grateful I am for the guys I've met and all the things I've learned, and the ability to place trust in a group of men you respect. And I mean down to your core. You can share anything, ask for any kind of help, is unbelievable.
In the future, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Number 2, social media. Social media is a lethal weapon that controls massive amounts of people. Take a look around you when you enter a restaurant or even in the gym. You will find people glued to their phone. They can't help it because they are a slave to social media. Do not misunderstand it. I am not saying social media is always bad. There is a lot of knowledge out there, and social media can be a great thing if you know how to use it. Either you use social media or you get used by it. If you are constantly scrolling online and you are discussing the latest trends, you are being used. If you are watching random short clips all the time, you are not only being used, but you have also allowed your attention span to get destroyed. Congratulations, you played yourself. Deep down, everyone knows this to be true, and yet no one takes it serious enough. They allow themselves to become slaves to social media. Number 3, video games. Why do you think the vast majority of gamers are men? Video games play directly into a man's innate desires.
Nailed it. He's about to go in on video games. Who here in the chat's about to tune out and get mad and go play a Call of Duty match? Neil, most of my friends have become woke beyond belief in recent years that I can barely tolerate their presence. That's sad. Brainwashing. It's just a signal for you that you need to cut them out of your life. If they're that mentally weak to be swayed in that manner, those aren't people you want to be around anyways.
Competition, conquest, status. These are things men have always desired, and video games have made it easy to attain it. The problem is that it's a fake virtual reality. The creators of the video games are playing directly into the desires of men. If you Google search how many women play video games compared to men, it will tell you that it's nearly split even. The statistics are flawed, and they don't even take you serious enough to make it seem legit. Why? As said in the beginning, none of these traps are set by accident. By playing around with the data, they are creating a false narrative that half the gamers are women. If you were to figure out a pattern of the majority of men being addicted to video games, you might come to the conclusion that they are playing to your desires as a man. This doesn't mean there aren't any good games out there.
What stupid ass research did they do to say that 50% of gamers are women? Anybody really believe that shit? It's like all the recent articles that came out. If you work out, it could stop your heart. If you eat eggs, they could stop your heart. If you play video games, sometimes they are known as stopping your heart. Remember that?
Or that you can never have any entertainment in your life. It means that if you don't dominate, compete, and level up in the real world, you have absolutely no business doing it in a virtual world like a worm. Number 4, sleep. Sleep is the fundamental thing that the majority of men need to improve on. I want you to understand that the longer you go without quality sleep, the more you are weakening yourself. You are directly weakening yourself by lowering your testosterone and brain capacity. Note that I said quality sleep. There is a difference between getting in hours of sleep and getting quality sleep. I will give you a simple rule of thumb you should use when it comes to sleeping called the 10-3-1 rule. 10 hours before bed, no more caffeine. 3 hours before bed, no more eating. 1 hour before bed, no technology. Just follow.
That rule's okay. Yeah, the voice is cringe. What's important with sleep is wakefulness as well. People don't understand this, that what you do upon waking matters for your next night's sleep more than you ever have realized. What you want to do upon waking up is going outside for 5, 10, 15 minutes, taking in sunlight. Don't look directly at the sun, but just be outside in the brightness of sunlight. And that does incredible things for triggering biochemical, neural, and whatever processes in your body to prepare you for the day. So waking up correctly is part 1. Part 2 is now sleeping correctly, which you can have some decent sleep habits like the ones he mentioned. Try not to eat past a certain time. Try to get off from looking at a screen past a certain time. Bring a book with you up in bed. Prepare yourself. Have a sort of like ritual for getting ready for bed. And consistency above all. Try to teach your body that past a certain time, you're just always sleeping, period. If you're the type that goes to sleep one time at 9, then another at 12, one at 4 a.m., you're messing your body's ability to prep itself for proper sleep.
Following the 10-3-1 rule will drastically improve your sleep quality. There are more advanced things you could do to improve it even further, but that might be a topic for a different video. Number 5, lack of emotional control. You will see many guys in the modern world getting emotional over minor issues. It is weak. The best men in the world have control over their emotions. That doesn't mean they never cry or lack emotions. It means they choose when they allow certain emotions to show.
Trail Zen, I cut lots of people out of my life the last 10 years. I now have a smaller core tribe of people around me. Never felt better. Yep, 100%. That's the way it should be. Takes a while, guys, and life's crazy. You go down many paths, but during your journey, you're going to meet some exceptional men that you respect. Befriend them if you can. Assimilate. Make a group together. Something. Attempt to. You should be hanging around with people that inspire you, that you respect, that guys that are getting after it in life, have high drive, high motivation, successful, or at least trying to be. Those kinds of men will energize you in your own life and push you further. If you've ever had a conversation simply with a friend that says, man, I've been thinking about, we got to make a plan. We got to make money somehow. What should we do? And that friend goes like, yeah, bro, totally. We got to think of some shit and make it. And like puts like a blunt in his mouth, starts smoking weed. And he's like, I think, maybe we'll go win the lottery, bro. Something stupid like that. Or you're just chilling there like playing video games like, yeah, bro, totally. Let's sit down after this sick-ass match at League of Legends or Call of Duty and let's think up some crazy shit. And, a little hungry, so let's pick up some McDonald's after too. If you're hanging around these kinds of people, by the way, I'm not saying anything negative about pods. I used to smoke a ton of pot myself, but I'm just doing the whole, stereotype. But if you're hanging around these low-energy people that absolutely don't have the drive and the will to attempt risky endeavors like that, then you'll never get the biscuit either. You need to surround yourself with people that think big, are willing to risk going into, quote, unknown territory in order to make a better world for themselves. Night Shadow, thanks, brother. I'm still fat at 250, but 6 months ago I was at 300, still working on myself. Congratulations, brother. And that's called progress, man. And you keep up. Another 6 months from now, you'll look like a different human being. Another 6 months from that, you're probably chiseling down the last of the fat reserves. And 6 months after that, no one is going to recognize your ass, dude. Don't stop.
There was a full video on emotional control, but this got taken down by YouTube. Emotional control is one of the most fundamental pillars of masculinity. And by
Let me read some of these. I missed one. Manny, thanks for the 5, brother. When I was working a 12-hour grave shift, my favorite time was watching the sunrise for 15 minutes at 4:30 in the morning. Man, that just triggered a memory in me. I remember I used to run. I don't do it anymore. I should. I really messed up my ankle bad a few years back and it was acting up when I was running. But I used to run 10 miles every morning. I just turn on my watch for 2 hours and it would GPS track. And my goal was 10 miles or whatever, depending on the pace I could keep, 10 miles or more, but minimum 10 miles in 2 hours. And I would go through this nice paced jog and I would wake up at 4:30. By 4:45, I was out the door. No brushing teeth, none of that shit. You just get up, lace your shoes, grab 2 water bottles. That was it. No thinking, nothing. No thinking was allowed. 4:30 alarm went out. By 4:45, already out the door, the watch goes click and you start tracking and you just start running and you run nonstop. And it was, man, I need to get back on doing it. I don't care what my ankle does to me. But that was the most peaceful state of mind I've ever been in. The most mindfulness. You got so much thinking done in that 2-hour span, so much soul searching. So many questions answered, putting yourself under that kind of duress. Because running nonstop for hours is painful. It sucks. It forces you to reveal yourself to yourself. You find out who you really are. And I would come back after this 2-hour run, feeling absolutely incredible. I watched as the sun rose and cars beginning to fill the streets. People were barely getting up. I was already like an hour in my run. I was already doing the U-turn after an hour to run back home. Incredible feeling, man. By 7, whatever o'clock when I got home, or 2 hours later, the rest of the day was in front of you and you just feel like you conquered the world. I remember going to the drive-thru to get coffee, be like 6:45, 7:30 after taking a shower, whatever, and eating a breakfast. Taking a shower, eating breakfast, go get a coffee to start the day on the computer, and you would not believe. I felt so relaxed, so at peace mentally. People try to cut me on the road, right? Brake check, all this weird shit. Angry, dude, road rage. And it didn't bother me at all. I was there just like stoic as hell, a stone, no bother in the world. Whatever, bro. I just survived a 2-hour run. It was incredible. I don't even want to say exhausted. I'm too mentally relaxed to give a shit about your angry road rage because you're late. You woke up within 10 minutes of needing to leave the house. So you rushed, didn't even eat. You're about what you're wearing. It's all last minute. You're stressed about whatever you got to do at work and who you got to argue with and the shit pay you're getting. And that's your life, bro. Good for you. Now let me go about my day getting my coffee. And I pull up to the window, chill as big smile, telling everybody what a beautiful day it is. How's everybody doing? Real talkative, relaxed. And they would ask, what do you do? What are you doing? And I just tell them, I just ran 10 miles about to go to work. And everybody's shook when they hear 10 miles. What the fuck? You ran 10 miles? Most people probably run a mile. Most people probably haven't ran a mile since high school when you did the mile test. That's the truth. Man, if anything, all this stuff has taught me that you really are a product of all your decisions in life. Like you really are. The place where you are in life today truly is a distillation of all your decisions. I don't even know where I would be if I were able to maintain that stuff. My ankle didn't bother me. I didn't shout and use that as an excuse to quit, because that's truly what happened. My ankle started bothering me. I had a bad grade 2 multiple high sprain tears, and I decided to stop running. I should have just ran through that shit. But anyways, I started to understand why these people live the way they live and why success comes to certain kinds of people and why it doesn't to others. When you're able to voluntarily put yourself through things of that nature, when you seek the difficult path, you tend to get rewarded. That's the truth. Trail, thanks. We all inspire each other to achieve better things in life. Motto is 99 problems and an excuse ain't one.
By believing the lies that it's good to cry and to be weak, you are voluntarily chopping down your own pillar of masculinity. If someone can make you emotional, it means they control you. Learn how to control your emotions instead of being a slave to them, and know how to use your emotions intelligently. Number 6. Blaming others. When you point one finger, there are 3 fingers pointing back to you. Blaming others for your actions and mistakes is a sign that you are a weak guy. You will never learn from your mistakes if you constantly blame other people and circumstances. It's easy to feel like a victim when something doesn't go your way. Know that there's always a choice to how you respond to events in your life. Listen, taking responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and life can feel challenging, but taking responsibility and ownership of your life also builds character, grit, and self-respect. Ownership forces you to confront your weaknesses.
Dale used to run by the river till knee caught up. Yeah, I used to do that 10 or more every morning. So it was like a 70+ mile week every single week. On top of going to the gym about 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. Obviously, I was powered by insane amounts of caffeine. That was probably not healthy for my heart, but that was probably the highest amount of output I've ever had in my life. I don't think I've ever done more than that day to day. I was burning through calories left and right, absolutely shredded veins on abs kind of deal. You could eat almost anything you want because your output is so ridiculous, and never felt better. Men are beasts of burden. The more you struggle physically, the happier you feel in your head. Strange, dude, that it works that way. That's the secret to happiness.
Shortcomings and flaws head on. When you feel the impulse to blame someone or something, pause. Take a couple of deep breaths. Zoom out to cultivate objectivity. What would an unbiased third party say about the situation? How would you characterize your role in creating this situation?
Yeah, and I'm just saying the physical aspect, guys. Somebody mentioned meditation, and I want to say that was an important part of what I was doing too. I didn't meditate every single day, but it was part of my routine as much as I could implement it. Journaling was another big one. It was meditation and journaling. Not only do you want to have moments of mindfulness for yourself in the day, aka meditation, but you want to write down and flesh out your thoughts too, journaling. Shout outs to everybody that does the Spartan Challenge. If you're in it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We have the Spartan Challenge video where meditation and journaling unlocked a new way of thinking for quite a bit of men, as well as illuminating why they feel what they feel and what causes them to break or cope on certain goals that they have. It answers a ton of questions, and it grants you a ton of control over yourself. I think every man should attempt. Again, it's just a challenge. It's called the Spartan Challenge. You only do it for 6 months. That's it. It's just a promise, a test to yourself. So shout outs to everybody on the Discord server doing that.
Reality for what it is. See the complete picture. This includes any mistakes you may have made. Put your ego aside, take ownership, and keep on moving. By the way, if you want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by
He really needs a new AI voice on there. Lotto Havoc, thanks, brother. Left America and ended up married to a girl from Costa Rica. Now I have a happy family and I'm focused on my life. Thank you for helping these people. Thank you for sharing, brother. Hopefully people are listening. That's really what it is. There's a lot of guys that drop these little wisdoms in the chat when we're watching these videos. I hope you guys are listening.